building a ranch from scratch, I had a lot of hesitation. I'm a professional builder. I had never built a horse ranch. I didn't even understand the parts and pieces, the thousands of things we had to buy and do. I just sent a copy of a drawing and Cashman's figured it out. Had I not had great vendors like Cashman, I would not have been able to have the comfort or have the highly functioning facility we have today.
When looking at fencing options for animals, the safety is the biggest factor that everyone wants to think about. You got to think how these animals might react in that atmosphere. They're trying to accomplish the safety. They want to be able to contain their animals in a safe area that they can sleep well at night, have that comfort of peace of mind.
We had a really terrible incident happen a month before we moved in. We had a horse get tangled in a fence, caught its leg, and cut it to the point where we had to put the horse down. And so we explained the situation to Cashman, and they were heartfelt, quick response. And my wife said, I don't want to ever have to worry about this again, so you need to work with Cashmans and figure out how to remedy that. And so we revised the system that we had started with, and it's been phenomenal ever since.
They want it to be as safe as possible for their animals. Obviously, they don't want their animal to go out there and lacerate themselves or cut their feet up or even break a foot or something like that. So they really wanted a safe option.
Safety was very important. I hate barbed wire because the animals can get hurt with that. And we had a major event here in the mountains of North Carolina with Hurricane Helena and major flooding. The fencing on one side where the farmer had a lot of black Angus, all that fencing was wiped out. On the other side was a farm with fencing. All of that was wiped out, and our fencing was untouched. I was attracted by the fact that they advertised as this is the safest fencing for horses, but to see that the fencing survived with absolutely no damage whatsoever, other than trees on the cable which were removed. That to me is a huge selling point.
Folks are most surprised about how easy we can make the process for them. A lot of folks are overwhelmed when they think about fencing, mostly because they're just not sure, like what are the components I'm going to need and how am I going to put this all together or who's going to install it for me.
I've never ran a ranch. So how do horses operate? What type of fencing do you put in? How do you corral them? How do you even know how much to buy? When we put the drawing out there, the design that our consultant did, which would just show a general pasture layout, Cashman was able to identify what it was that we were trying to accomplish.
We have a fence calculator on our website. It's a great resource for customers just to get started. They can just go in there and punch those numbers in and it'll spit out a result.
The calculator is a bare bones framework for our Cashman Elite, kind of show them like what you'll need to get it up and going. And then if you need every little facet, then I can do that based on your layout. I can get you pretty close on that estimate without having to do too much work.
Their planning calculator was very good. We measured the paddocks and we knew how many gates we wanted. And so using the tool on their website, we got a good estimate of how much of the product we would need. Made contact with a salesman, told him what we wanted to do. He looked at the drawing that we had.
For someone's budget, we try to educate the customer along the process of when we're talking about the fencing products and the different options they have. So lots of times I'll say, look, if the board fencing is really what you think you want, it's going to be expensive. It's going to take a lot of maintenance down the road, but let me go ahead and put a quote together for you on that one. And then I'll put a quote together for you on one that we feel is extremely safe, very economical, and low maintenance.
I hate barbed wire, and I don't particularly like electric tape. So I came across Cashman and the electro cable product that they have. They had some very, very nice videos, a lot of information, and the pricing was right.
It feels good to have somebody in your back pocket that you don't feel like they're there just to get into your wallet, that they're there to serve.
Even though we're a long distance away, in fact, I went to Cashman several times instead of running down to Tractor Supply, just because I knew I was going to get what I needed
If I called Cashman today and I hadn't talked to them in 6 months, the call would be picked up immediately. They would be enthusiastic to help me whether they made a sale or not.
It's very fulfilling. You can see the success some people are having, the impact it's having on their lives, and the fact that they know they can come back and rely on us and trust in us and give them the best advice we possibly can, or to stand beside them and behind them and help them if things do go wrong. We are honest. We're always up front. We're not going to be any smoke and mirrors. We're there to try to give you the best advice we can to make the proper and right decisions.